Now hum on the exhale, feeling the vibrations in the back of your throat, chest. Beautiful. Another inhale. A nice, powerful, vibrational hum. Play around with the feelings of vibrations throughout your body. Another inhale. Exhaling with the hum. Bring a gentle smile as you hum. Stay present. Inhale. Exhale with the hum. Inhale. Hum. Inhale fully. Exhale with the hum. Inhale. Exhale, hum. Feeling the vibration. Calm. Grounded. Inhale. Exhale with the hum. Beautiful. Two more. Fully in. Long hum. Last hum. Fully in. A nice long, beautiful hum. Smiling, enjoying. Take an inhale. Let it out with a sigh. Allow your breathing to return to in and out of the nose. Staying present. Enjoying the shift of energy. Feeling a bit more grounded.
All right. Amazing as always. Check this out here. Perfect. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Making sure. Perfect. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Live on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and we are on. We just finished our breath work. We do breath work because I've studied multiple multimillionaires and billionaires who have said that they do breath work and cold plunges in order to keep their minds calm. When it's time to make big decisions, a lot of times we move in fear and anxiety. So the breath work and cold plunges trains our minds to stay relaxed in scary, crazy, intense situations. So this is why we start our morning releasing everything. When you wake up, forget about all your problems, let them go, and then we start our morning routine. Hi, good morning, TikTok, good morning, YouTube, and good morning, Instagram. All right, so we are reading a Bible scripture this morning. Does anyone have a scripture that they would like to share for us to read? If nothing, I will just flip the book and find something at random. All right.
Then of Jeremiah 29, I think it's verse 11. Yeah.
Jeremiah.
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord.
29.
29,
Verse 11. For I know the plans, yes, I am planning for you, declares the Lord. Plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and an expectancy. What does that mean to you? Okay. Kaylin, are you able to speak?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
I wanted to read more, T, if you don't mind.
Of course. So the whole thing, or how far?
Okay. No, I'm gonna read it up to 14.
Perfect.
Which verse is it? Which passage?
It's
Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Okay. You found it?
Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Yes.
So, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place from which I carried you into exile.
So real quick, I want to tell the lives. We just read Jeremiah chapter 29, verses 11 through 14. So if you guys would like to tune in, those are the verses that we read today. What does that mean to you?
Pretty much, what it says. So, from birth, from when we in our mother's womb, God already had our life plan. And all he asks is that you trust me, just so that I won't lead you, astray. I got you, pretty much. And it's all good things he promises us, as long as you believe in your heart.
Anyone else want to share?
I'll share something.
Yes.
So it says, after 13, it says, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. So for me, what it shows is that God is always present. He's just always waiting for us to call out to him. He's always there, in the good and the bad times, regardless of what's happening. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in certain things that we're going through, we sometimes lose our focus. We take our gaze off of him. And he's telling us right now, hey, I'm here. This whole time I've been here, just keep your eyes on me. So whatever it is you need, whatever it is you ask, I'll give it to you. So that's good reassurance for me. So for me to keep my eyes on him. That's what is speaking to me this morning.
For sure. I love that. And you guys are all familiar with John, the first chapter when it talks about in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was God.
Yes. So with me, it just shows that when he says, like you shall seek me and you shall find me, of course, it's the word that you're looking for. So once again, we have to be aware that whether it's good or bad, whatever we're seeking, we do find, because God is faithful, and God is faithful to us in whatever we are putting our minds towards. And he doesn't know that he's wishing harm on us. We know that, it's harmful. And once you become one with God, you'll realize that, the worry and the doubt and the fears aren't supposed to be thought about. So it kind of just gives that physical, that physical faith in like the fleshly faith side, because we are both. We are the spirit. And I like to kind of think of it like that, seeking whatever we think will be found. And,
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Basically to kind of wrap it all around is I read Isaiah 45. Verse 5, 6, and 7. Are you there?
I'm here.
You want me to read that chapter? Yeah.
You want me to read it?
Yes. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 5, 6, and 7.
Okay. Verse 5. I am the Lord, and there is no other. Apart from me, there is no God. I will strengthen you, though you have not acknowledged me, so that from the rising of the sun to the place of its setting, people may know there is none besides me. I am the Lord, and there is no other. I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things.
So I just wanted to give that understanding that it could be either way. And again, it's not that when it comes to what we desire in life and what we think about and the actions that we take, because we'll get the reward or the consequence, suffer the consequence no matter what. So That's why we do the morning mindset, is, to continue to remain positive and have that hope and faith.
I love that.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So now we are going to be getting into chapter 8 of the 10X rule. I am so excited. So I was mistaken. I said it was 9 chapters. It's 14 chapters in the full thing. So we are now officially over half of the book completed. I'm going to share my screen here and find that. There it is. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I scroll, can you see me scrolling?
Are you scrolling right now?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to change it. I'm gonna do entire screen because I know when I try to share the tab, it doesn't show the scrolling. I'm just trying to make sure that it operates, without me getting cut off. So I'll probably have you guys like engage in between me reading to make sure that I didn't disconnect, because it does happen to like disconnect sometimes when I'm sharing my screen. Okay. I'm gonna turn my camera off also to make sure that it operates smoothly. Okay, so you can see me scrolling now, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So we are on chapter 8, guys, of the 10x rule. The 10x rule teaches us how to multiply our goals by 10, because often when we create a certain goal, if it's too short or too reasonable, we fall short of it. So we want to multiply it by 10 and put that in our mindset in order to exceed the original goal. So we are on chapter 8, where we are going to talk about the average is a failing formula. We are not average people. So why are we doing average things? Okay, look around. Chances are you'll see a world filled with average. Although this is, as I previously stated, the acceptable level of activity upon which the middle class is built, there is a growing amount of evidence that this thinking is unworkable. Jobs are being shipped overseas, and unemployment is becoming even more rampant. Members of the middle class are unable to get their heads above water. People are living longer than their savings, and entire companies and industries are being wiped out as a result of average products, average management, average workers, average actions, and average thinking. This addiction to average can kill the possibility of making your dreams a reality. Consider the following statistics. The average worker reads an average of less than 1 book a year and works an average of 37.5 hours a week. The same person makes 319 times less money than the top US CEOs who claim to read more than 60 books a year. Many of these financially successful executives are malign for the huge sums of money they receive. However, we often fail to appreciate what these people have done to get where they are today. Although it might not always look like they're working very hard, we often dismiss the fact that they somehow managed to attend the right schools, make the right connections, and then did what was necessary to move up the food chain. It all requires substantial action on their part. You can resent them if you choose, but that doesn't change the fact that they are being rewarded for the success they've achieved. Callie Marie, can you close the door? Thank you. After the economy suffered so greatly in 2008, Starbucks founder Howard Schultz began to do what almost every other CEO in America was doing, cutting expenses and getting rid of non-performing locations. He then did something that most CEOs did not do. He traveled all over the country to meet with Starbucks patrons. Long after the average worker had gone home, billionaire Schultz was visiting his stores and meeting with coffee drinkers to find out how Starbucks could better satisfy customers. Although the media didn't do much reporting on this, it was a pretty astounding pattern of events. Here was a guy making his way across the country at 9 p.m. to get feedback from people buying his products. This is a prime example of embracing a greater than average thought and action process. This is clearly above and beyond what the marketplace and any customer expects. It far exceeded any action considered commonplace for a CEO, and Starbucks' very solid and strong growth was reflected in stock charts. Do I still have you guys here?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Let me know if you want me to pick up anywhere, okay?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I'll do this next page entirely, and then I'll you can pick up from the page after. This company makes a product that people do not absolutely need, especially during troubled economic times. Yet Starbucks continues to sell and grow both its brand and return to investors. This demonstrates that although the quality of the product is clearly important, the individuals who work for an organization are truly the force that will make the most difference. Schultz knew exactly how to approach the situation. Despite the recession, despite temporary contraction, he still managed to expand his organization, not necessarily with more locations, but by using his personal energy, resources, and creativity to take massive action, touch each of his stores and many of his patrons, and increase the presence of his brand and its revenues. Any undertaking that includes accepting average will fail you sooner or later. Anything conducted in standard amounts simply won't get the job done. The normal levels of action at which most people operate fail to take into account the effects of various forces such as gravity, age, resistance, timing, and the unexpected. When average actions hit any resistance, competition, loss, or lack of interest, negative or challenging market conditions, or all of these, you will find your projects tumbling down. Finally, I want you to take into consideration the concerted efforts of individuals and groups who actually impede your efforts. Although I am not one to be paranoid or live in fear, I learned the very expensive lesson that these people do exist when I was approached by a group who claimed to want to make me their partner. However, they never intended to bring me in as a partner, but instead intended from the outset to steal from me the success I had created in my life. I never planned on this in any of my equations, and it literally robbed me of years of efforts. So take it from me. You cannot plan on everything, and people will try to take from you what they are unable to create themselves. When I look back at an attempt to analyze what happened with these criminals, I realized that I was susceptible to their enticement because I was no longer operating at 10x levels. Wow. This really opened my eyes to the fact that the moment I started resting on my laurels and thought that I could coast a bit, I made myself a target. It is almost impossible to plan for every situation in your lifetime. You will experience extraordinary conditions, some of which may be hostile and unpleasant. The best way to plan is to condition your thinking and your actions to 10x levels. Succeed so big that no one person or event or series of missteps can take you down. Average levels of anything will fail you, or at the very least, put you at risk. If, on the other hand, you create more success than you want or need, you'll always be prepared. Even when those who can't create success for themselves try to steal it from you. You want to start right there, Caitlin? Although.
Yes. Although I experienced years of success at levels that others deemed to be quite impressive, I knew in my heart that I had quit taking massive action. And sure enough, these guys decided to peel a little of my success away from me and got away with it. It was quite an expensive and humbling setback, but it really woke me up in the fact that you are never safe to move to normal levels of involvement and activity. Once you do so, I assure you, What you have and what you dream of will start to disappear. Let me just show this little. All right, where is that? This post truth for your wealth, marriage, wealth, and spiritual condition. Normal gets you just that, normal. See what average thoughts and actions will get you. Average problems that can quickly become overwhelming problems. What if you live 20 years longer than your savings? Many of us will have to take care of other family members because they didn't have a 10x mindset or operate at 10x levels. What about the possibility of long-term health issues or some state of economic emergency? And that hasn't been foreseen. What happens to entire classes of people who made average financial plans when faced with extended periods of very difficult economic times or decades of extended unemployment? Average is a failing plan. Average doesn't work in any area of life. Anything that you give only average amounts of attention to will start to subside and will eventually cease to exist. Companies, industries, products, and individuals who continue into the future successfully are those who approach every activity with the outlook that average is just not good enough. You need to change your commitment and thinking to be far above any concepts of average. I promise that when you do so, you will immediately start influencing other areas of your life. Your friends and family will start to change will start to change. Results will improve. You will find yourself getting luckier. You may experience time flying by. The actions you are taking will begin to improve your associations with people. Average is also the reason why most new companies fail. A couple of people get together, have a great idea, write a business plan, start a company, and base their predictions on everything going in their favor. They may even create what they consider to be conservative projections. Let's say we show the product to 10 people. We're bound to sell at least 3 of them. That's conservative and realistic. Someone in the group says, let's cut that in half to be especially safe. Can we still make it? They decide that even based on the more conservative plan, they will be successful, but they didn't correctly assess how many people they would have to call on just to do the initial 10 presentations. Even the most amazing product on earth might require 100 calls just to get the 10 meetings. Just because you have the next step of the project completely planned out doesn't mean that the rest of the world is there with you. They've committed to their schedules, their products, and their projects. Merely getting the opportunity to see the right people takes enormous effort and persistence. Most people are building business plans based on average considerations and ways of thinking, not the massive amounts of action that are necessary to push through. When new ideas come together, they are influenced by the excitement and enthusiasm of those who generate them. Many negative considerations such as competition, the economy, market conditions, manufacturing, lending, raising money, the preoccupation of your clients with other projects and the like are set at what everyone considers for average difficulty. Then, when optimistic projections prove unrealistic, even the most conservative objectives are missed. A key partner might get sick. There might be some significant change in economic conditions, or some global event might occur that shifts everyone's attention for the next 6 months. People involved in the new venture start to lose their enthusiasm. Bickering ensues. And as things become more difficult than was originally considered, failure emerges as a likely possibility. The partners go through more money than anyone projected and with no income. One of the dreamers begins to have second thoughts and wonders if perhaps he should bail since the players don't seem mentally, emotionally, or physically prepared to take the massive action necessary to push through market resistance. Continuing with this scenario, in order to resolve the lack of income problem, members of the group try to borrow or raise money from where they hit even more resistance. They realize that it will become increasingly difficult for most people to ink up to the unreasonable amount of relentless and X actions that are necessary to see things through and were missing from the business plan. The partners start to believe that their company relies more intensely on raising money than it does on increasing actions because they didn't correctly estimate the 10x level of thoughts and actions necessary to keep going. Average assumes incorrectly, of course, that everything operates stably. People optimistically overestimate how well things will go and then underestimate how much energy and effort it will take just to push things through. Anyone who has made it in business will support this concept. You simply cannot train or prepare. You cannot train or prepare for normal amounts of gravity or resistance, competition, and market conditions. Don't think average, think massive. Compare your actions to having to carry a 1,000-pound backpack that you will wear every day into a 40 miles per hour wind on a 20-degree upward slope. Prepare for massive, persistent action, and you will win. Most businesses fail because they are unable to sell their ideas, products, and services at prices high enough to sustain a company and fund its activities. The company isn't able to collect revenue in quantity great enough because the people with whom the company has been built, employees, customers, and vendors also take only average amounts of action. Average never yields anything more than average, and usually does. Average thinking is action, and actions will only guarantee you misery, uncertainty, and failure. Rid yourself of everything that is average, including the advice you get and friends you keep. Ooh. Sound too tough. Remember that success is your duty, obligation, and responsibility. And since there is no shortage of success, any apparent limitations you're experiencing might simply be the result of thinking and acting average. Rid yourself of every concept of average. Study what average people do and prohibit yourself and your team from considering average as an option. Surround yourself with exceptional thinkers and doers. Let your friends, family, and work associates know that you treat average like a terminal disease. Remember, average anything will never get you to an extraordinary life, that part. Look up the word average and see for yourself what it holds for you. Typical, ordinary, common. That should be enough to abandon the concept from all your considerations.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Listen, like everything so far has been like boosting my mindset and opening it up to like I said, look at the ants, in chapter 7, look at the worker bees. They're constantly moving. They trained us at a work environment that we just work for those quick 7-8 hours. And then we get the rest of the day. Like, no, yeah. We're that average training. We can't implement that in business. You got to go way harder.
Being ordinary or giving the bare minimum. We're doing just enough to make it through 7-8 hours. And
right.
Used to clock out and go home and come back and do the same thing because that's what we're trying to do.
And especially what it was saying about like the friends, like you whoever you're hanging around, you're gonna vibrate on that same frequency and get the same results they're getting. So it's like, yeah, go be around people who are like grinding hard, because it's naturally going to get you moving. Like, oh shoot, they're moving like that. Let me catch up.
And it is true. You end up becoming who you hang out with, and they influence you, whether it's on purpose or not. It will happen. So if you want to be ordinary, you hang around ordinary people. People think ordinary. It's not being selfish, but if you want to be successful, it's your obligation to make those decisions. It's for you. It's for your future. It's for your success.
That's right. That's right. And then how he was saying like that, you know, someone had got in and, you know, smiled in his face and made it seem like they were cool and they were going to do business together, and they stole the whole company from him and like burned him. And like he said, it would have never happened if he was moving at 10x levels of action. But he had slowed down and got comfortable, and then here they come. You know, that's just like, you know, like let's say toxic relationships. Like the significant other comes in and, hey, how you doing? And it seems all sweet until they're ruining your life and destructing everything, tearing it all down because you had too much time on your hands.
They're like, imagine the person was thinking. The person was probably thinking, wow, he does not know what he has in his hands. He doesn't see the value. You know what? Let me add the value. I see what I can do. Because he's not thinking on the 10x level.
That's right. So it says, write down the names of people who you know operate only average levels. Write down 3 times in your life when average actions caused you to come up short. Write down the names of people who you know are exceptional and describe how they are different from average. And look up the definition of average as an adjective and write it here. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this.
Yeah. I can't really see it. I'm going to take a picture. Are we going to go over it together?
Yeah. We can do that tomorrow. Like we'll write them down today, and then we'll share them tomorrow. Probably like in the beginning before we start chapter 9. You got the screenshot already?
Not yet.
Okay.
Wipe it off.
Wait for me to make the screenshot.
Okay.
The last question is look up the definition, right? That's the last question.
Yes, that's the last one.
So we're doing the exercises, all of them, and we'll talk about it tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do the exercises like later, whenever, on our free time. All right, so I'm going to do something different so that my lives aren't super long. I'm going to go ahead and come off of the lives while we discuss what we're grateful for, the 3 things that we're sending love to, and our positivity goals. So if you guys want to do those things while I am off live, feel free. These things will change your life. Beware. These things will change your life. Okay. I have gotten plenty of testimonies already, phone calls, who have told me that they have already seen results. They have already seen their life change. And eventually I will get to the point where these will not be free anymore. Okay. You will have to pay to come to me because I am showing and proving the value of setting these goals. Okay. But you guys enjoy your morning. Have a good day. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube. And goodbye, Instagram. Oh, it was so low today. I don't like it.
What?
It's only at 50 live views on Instagram.
Listen, it's just the beginning.
Right. It's just